Hello everyone, welcome to Vinyāsa Yoga. My name is Jackie. I'm going to be your instructor today. This is a 60-minute Vinyāsa Yoga class, and I'm so excited that you can be here to join us. If you are joining us from home, there are a few things you're going to need to be successful in today's class. The first being a mat or a towel or something that a surface that you can be on to protect your joints when we are down on the ground. So again, whether that be a blanket, towel, even a carpet or a rug will work, but make sure that there's something underneath you. And then for props today, I'm going to be using a block, but I totally understand if you don't have a block at home. So if you have something like a hardcover book or something like that you can use as a sturdy prop for our practice, that is going to be great. Additionally, if you have a pillow or something that can rest under your back today, we are going to start in a supported fish pose. So I'll show you what that looks like, and if you have a pillow or a block nearby, grab it. That will be very helpful for you. But we are going to be working on some chest openers today, as well as some twisting. A lot of twists, a good amount of chest openers, so be ready for that. But first things first, we are going to start in supported fish. So if you're not familiar with this pose, we are going to be laying on our backs in a supine position. If you have a block, or this is where a pillow or a folded blanket might come in handy, it's going to go right between your shoulder blades. So your head will not be resting on the prop, but you'll want it right between those shoulder blades and that upper back. Your head is going to just dip down onto the surface below you. For this pose, our feet can be out straight, or if it's comfortable for you, they can be in a butterfly pose. Really, whatever works for you today. If they're in a butterfly pose, you're gonna get that hip opener, but if they're out straight, that works as well. And then our hands, we have a few options. They can be down right by our sides, palms facing up, or depending on how deep we want this first initial chest opener, we can really kind of tee our arms out as far as we feel comfortable. So if your chest feels tight today as you're getting into this pose, it might be better to keep those hands closer to our side. But if you are ready for that higher sensation, we can tee our arms out. And so this is where we're going to start our practice today. Like I mentioned, we're going to be doing a lot of chest opening, a lot of heart opening. And so this is just to get us there. If you're like me and you work at a desk all day, or you sit a lot of your day, it's easy for us to round our backs out, just our natural posture as we're doing things, as we're at a computer. So these chest openers today are meant to reverse some of that and kind of restore our posture. So as we get into our centering, what I'd like you to do, if it feels comfortable for you, close your eyes. And we're going to start to bring the attention to our breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking some time here to get settled onto the mat, arrive to our practice. You might have had a busy day today, maybe a stressful day, so take this moment to find yourself here on your mat or in your space and start to let all of those outside thoughts and worries go. We're going to take this hour to just focus on ourselves. Remaining in our supported fish pose, taking some deep breaths, we can start to get into our Durga Pranayama. So if you're looking at the screen, you'll see I'm sitting, but make sure that you are in your supported fish. Our Durga Pranayama is our 3-part breath. So if you are ready to practice Durga Pranayama today and further your breathing and your focus on yourself, what you're going to do is first think about your breathing. So as we inhale, we want to think about filling first that belly button area. And if it's helpful for you to rest a hand on your belly button, you can do so. Fill that belly button area with air, then bring that air up into our chest, and lastly up into our clavicle or collarbone, holding for just a moment at the top. We're fully inhaled, and then exhale in reverse order. So first exhaling out of that clavicle or collarbone, the chest, and then the belly button or that belly area. And then we'll continue to do that at your own pace, at your own breath for about the next 45 seconds. And one few helpful things with our Durga Pranayama is that it's going to help us deepen our breathing, slow our breathing down, but it's also going to make us focus on our breath. So when we focus on our breathing, we focus on what our body's doing, that takes our thoughts away from, again, those outside stressful things that don't matter right here and right now. So take that time with that intention in mind. Breathing is also a great way to lower our anxiety. So if you have any anxieties, even in this practice or outside, bringing your focus to the breath is a great way to start to reduce some of that anxiety. I wrote a quote down for today. As you're breathing, I'll read it to you. It is, "You cannot always control what goes on outside, but you can control what goes on inside," which is a simple quote. But again, those that focus on our breath and the focus on what our body's doing is what we have control over right here and right now. And so focusing on those things will hopefully lead us out of this practice feeling better, feeling more clear, and feeling refreshed to take on the world. So taking your last final breaths in this posture, we're going to slowly find our way out of this supported fish. So if you're lying on your back, you're just going to use your forearms, place them on the ground, and slowly guide yourself up to a seated position. We're going to be in easy pose for just a moment to continue our warm-up. So we'll have our legs crossed at the shins, sitting up nice and tall, and just right away, think about how your chest might feel after being there for just a few moments. It's easy for us to round our shoulders out, so think about sitting up nice and tall, and hopefully that supported fish was a little helpful. We're going to have our elbows right underneath our shoulders for a moment, and palms can be face up or face down. We're going to do a few neck rolls. So starting to warm the body up, let's tilt that chin to our chest. We're going to take right ear to right shoulder and slowly roll that neck around all the way until we're back at chin to chest. Continuing those circles. If you've been coming to class, you've heard me say this, but if you find a spot that feels a little bit tense, in your upper back or your neck, hang out there for a moment. Breathe into that space for a few breaths and then continue on. Eyes can stay open or closed. After you make this last complete circle, we're going to switch directions. So left ear is going to start to left shoulder. And we'll circle our way around that way. Again, feeling for any tight spots that maybe need that extra bit of attention, those extra breaths. Still breathing in and out through the nose. Go ahead and take one last full circle, and then we'll meet at a neutral spine, sitting up nice and tall. From here, we're going to bring ourselves into some side stretches. So what I'd like us to do is take our right hand, place it down on the mat. We're going to inhale our left arm up and over. So opening up that side body on the left side, thinking about opening our chest up as well. So not rounding the back out and curving, but looking up, opening that chest. Keeping the shoulders down and back as best we can, not letting them come up towards our ears. Let's take one more inhale, big stretch here, and as we exhale, lower that left hand down. From here, left hand comes to the mat to support us. We're going to inhale the right arm nice and high. Same thing, opening that chest up, feeling that stretch in the right side body this time. And we're just warming up the body. So if you are feeling a little tight right now, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. We have to start somewhere. One more inhale, lengthen here, and exhale, bring yourself back to a seated pose. Last thing we'll do in this pose is a seated twist. From here, we're going to inhale our arms nice and high. We're going to take the left arm to the right knee and twist. So my left hand is going to be supported on my right knee. I'm going to use that to help pivot my twist. The right hand is going to be behind us, again, helping us twist a little bit deeper. We're sitting up nice and tall here. Inhale, lengthen that spine nice and tall. Exhale, twist just a little bit deeper. It's important for us to meet our bodies where we're at, and we are just warming up. So if we can't twist that far, that is okay. Inhale right here, and exhale, untwist. Let's do that one more time. Twisting the other side. Inhale, the arms high, and as we exhale, right hand to left knee. The left hand comes behind us, and we twist, looking behind that left shoulder. Remember, we inhale, lengthen that spine nice and tall. Exhale, twist. Hi everyone, sorry about that. We're having a few technical difficulties. You might have noticed on your end of the screen that the video is lagging, my voice might be lagging a little bit. That's due to some internet connections that we're having. Unfortunately, there's no way that we can fix it right now, so we're going to continue on with class. But if you notice the screen is slowed down a little bit, that's on our end, and hopefully this clears up throughout the class. The other thing is you'll notice that the timer above me started from the top, so there's about 60 minutes on the timer. We're going to continue on with class and end at the appropriate time, which today is going to be 6:30. All right, so let's pick up where we left off with that seated twist. We'll be here for just another moment, inhaling and exhale, twist. Let's take a big inhale, lengthen that spine, and then exhale, twisting a little deeper, looking over that shoulder. One more inhale here, and then let's untwist back to center. Beautiful. From here, we're going to roll over our shins or swing those legs around to a tabletop position. From here, I'm going to face the side so you have a little bit of a better view of me and what my body is doing if you're following along. We're going to find some cat-cow poses. So first, ensuring our wrists are right underneath our shoulders, our hips are over our knees. And in this tabletop position, we're going to inhale, dropping the belly to the mat or the ground. Gaze is either out in front of us or maybe looking upwards just a bit. As we exhale, we find cow pose, rounding that spine, separating the shoulder blades, chin to the chest. Inhale, lowering that belly, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose, round that back, separate those shoulder blades. So finding some movement here based on your own breathing. Maybe not moving to my breathing cues, but matching your breath to your movement. Vinyāsa Yoga, that term translates Vinyāsa to breath synchronized movement. So that's a main focus of our class today, is matching breath to movement. Let's take one more full cow, one more full cat, and then we're going to meet at a neutral spine. Good. From here, we're going to find child's pose for just a moment. So touching those big toes and then sitting back onto the heels here. We can reach our arms forward, rest that forehead onto the mat. We'll be here in a recovery pose for just a moment, maybe taking some focus to your body and mind, doing a body scan here. Child's pose is a great recovery pose. So today in class, we'll be doing quite a few vinyasas where we're flowing through, really bringing some heat into the body. So if at any time any of these poses are strenuous, or maybe you just need that moment to recover, child's pose is a great place to come to. From here, we're going to go ahead and move to downward facing dog. So moving through that tabletop, we're going to tuck our toes under the mat and press those hips up. So here is our first downward facing dog. It might be best for you to keep the knees bent right now to ensure some integrity in that spine. One of our main focuses in postural alignment cues for downward dog is a nice flat spine. So sometimes when our legs are straight, it can can cause us to round our back out. So having those knees bent is helpful right here. And let's start to walk the dog out. So pressing one heel down, opposite knee bends, and we can really feel that calf stretch from the heel that is pressing towards the ground. Trying to balance some weight out here, so not placing too much weight into our upper body, not placing too much weight into that lower body. Feeling this out right here. Few more, and then we'll meet in a neutral downward dog. From here, let's look between the hands, bend the knees, and tiptoe those feet towards the hands. Forward fold. Again, first forward fold, we might feel a little tight, so keeping that bend in the knees can be helpful for us here. Letting that upper body fold over, taking this time, thinking about maybe some tension in the upper body or neck, and it can be helpful to shake your head yes here, shake your head no. Loosen that upper body up. When you are ready, slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. All the way to the top, head's the last to rise. We're going to find ourselves in mountain pose. So mountain pose, we have our big toes touching, heels are slightly separated, shoulders down and back, hands are placed, palms facing away from us. And just taking a moment here. If you need some water, grab some water if that's nearby. And if it's comfortable, maybe closing your eyes and taking a quick body scan. We're going to bring ourselves into Sun Salutation A or Surya Namaskar A, where we'll further warm our bodies up. Continuing to practice that breath match to movement. So again, I'll face the side so you can best see me. We're meeting in mountain pose or Tadasana. Let's start with an inhale, bringing those arms up overhead. Stasana. We'll exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Here we inhale, bringing the hands to our shins, halfway lift, nice flat spine here, head to neutral alignment. And as we exhale, hands come to the mat, we step those feet back into a high plank. Now you always have the option to drop the knees every time we're in plank, completely up to you and where your body's at today. We have our shoulders over our wrists. We're going to inhale, leaning that weight forward. Exhale, slowly lower, elbows right towards our sides, chaturanga. From here, baby cobra, warming up the spine still. We lift that chest up and then exhale, lower, cheek to the mat. One more baby cobra, lifting chest up and exhale, opposite cheek to mat. This time on your next inhale, we're going to lift full cobra or up dog. So using those hands, placing them into the mat and bringing your upper body up to stretch those hip flexors and abdominals. Up dog, we lift those thighs, and then as we exhale, we can flip those feet, bring ourselves into downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling, trying to keep those shoulders away from our ears, keeping that bend in the knee if it's helpful. And on that 4th inhale, we're going to look between the hands, keeping our knees bent, walking those feet to meet the hands, forward fold. From here, we inhale, hands come to shins, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold once more. Inhale, reverse swan diving this time, nice flat back as we come up, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, and exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to go through this 2 more times a little bit quicker. If you have been taking this class every week, you are familiar with this style, but further warming our bodies up, let's inhale, arms high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, place those hands, this time walking or hopping those feet out, high plank. Inhale, shift that weight forward, and exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog, lifting that upper body. Exhale, flip those feet, hips come to the sky, downward facing dog, 3 breaths for everyone. In traditional yoga practice, I believe it's 5 breaths, so if 5 is good for you, you can do that as well. On your next inhale, looking between the hands and stepping or hopping the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, and exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands come to mat, step or hop back to our high plank. Inhale, lifting, shifting that weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale, looking between those hands, walking or hopping the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, bending those knees, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Holding here in mountain pose or grabbing a drink of water. Quick body scan again. Hopefully our bodies are feeling a little bit warmer. Maybe your heart rate's up a little bit. That is wonderful. I encourage you to take this practice at your own pace. So if you're looking to get your heart rate up, speeding up that flow is going to be helpful for you, or finding a deeper asana or pose will be helpful. But if you want to take it slower, you are more than welcome to, and choosing options that are lower impact will be helpful too. We are going to move into Sun B, or Surya Namaskar B. So we'll go through this 4 times. The first one, just flat out, the straight up Surya Namaskar B. From there, we'll start to layer on, as we typically would in this class. And we'll find ourselves 4 times through. The last time will be our most layered option. So, finding ourselves in mountain pose, everybody's next favorite pose, chair pose. We're going to inhale, sitting our weight back into our heels. So bending those knees, weights in our heels. You could lift your toes off the ground if you wanted to. Options for hands can be heart center, on our hips, or we can have those hands over arms. This is our traditional chair pose. They can also be out to a V depending on your shoulder flexibility. So one more inhale here, and then let's exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale, half lift. Exhale, place those hands to the mat, step back to plank. Take your vinyasa. So when I say take a vinyasa, what I mean is from here to high plank, inhale that weight forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So that is what I mean when I say take a vinyasa. We meet in downward dog. From here, let's inhale this right leg high, 3-legged dog. Let's keep these hips in alignment, so make sure you're not externally rotating. Right here from 3-legged dog, we're gonna inhale, bringing that knee through. Place the foot between the hands and lift for warrior 1. Warrior 1, real quick. We want front heel and back heel aligned. This back heel is on the ground, foot's at about a 45-degree angle. Front toes are pointed forward. My hips, we're going to try to keep them neutrally rotated, so not externally rotated. We're focusing on that right hip bringing back, left hip coming forward. And again, hands can be at heart center, or traditionally they are up overhead. Holding here for 1 breath. Let's inhale here. Exhale, we're going to lower, frame the foot, step that right foot back, high plank, take your vinyasa. I will meet you in downward facing dog. Once you are in downward dog, let's lift that left leg high this time. 3-legged dog here, centering those hips. As we inhale, we're going to bring that knee through. Place the foot between the hands, and again, warrior 1. This time, left foot's in front. So we have that bend in our front knee. Think about that heel-to-heel alignment. Inhale, tall. Exhale, frame that foot. Step the front foot back. High plank, take your vinyasa. I will meet you in downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, downward dog, we are going to bring ourselves to forward fold. So either walking or hopping those feet to meet the hands, forward fold. We'll inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, sitting back in those heels. Nice flat spine. Exhale, standing to mountain pose. Beautiful. That was round one. That's our traditional Surya Namaskar B. Moving on. From here, in mountain pose, we inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, placing those hands to the mat, stepping or hopping back and taking that vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Lots of vinyasas today, so always remember that option for child's pose, or we can skip the vinyasa and go right to downward dog. This time we are going to step or reach the left leg high. I am actually going to switch positions so you can see me best. Left leg is high, three-legged dog. We swoop that knee through, placing the foot between the hands, lifting warrior one, arms overhead. Inhaling here. We exhale, open up warrior two. So right away, my front foot, heel toe shifts over to the right side. Now I have a heel to ball or big toe of my foot, my back foot alignment. Here we're a little more externally rotated, however, still focusing on bringing that back hip forward, front hip back, arms are out to the side, warrior two. Taking an inhale, we're going to bring our arms down, linking our fingers behind us, preparing for humble warrior. So right away, feeling that chest open up, I inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to fold over. Nice flat spine, letting that body fall. I'm not losing control of my core though. My core is still very engaged. That front knee is still bent. Feeling that chest open. On your next inhale, slowly lift that core. Find those arms out, warrior two. Inhale here. As we exhale, we cartwheel those arms down, framing the foot, stepping the front foot back. High plank, take your vinyasa. I will meet you in downward facing dog. This time through, you're gonna see my back to you, but it will be the same thing we just did. So we're gonna lift the right leg high, three-legged dog. This time the right leg swoops through. Warrior one, we inhale and lift. Back heel places down, 45 degrees. Inhale here. Exhale, open warrior two. That front foot, heel toe pivots over, finding a nice generous bend in the knee of that front leg. As we inhale, linking those fingers behind, we exhale, humble warrior, folding over. Again, nice flat spine. Keeping that generous bend in our front knee. On your next inhale, slowly lifting, opening warrior two. Inhaling here, and as we exhale, we cartwheel those hands down, step the front foot back, find your plank, and take your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. On that next inhale, looking between the hands, walk or hop the feet to meet the hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, sitting back in those heels. Exhale, mountain, standing. Beautiful job. 2 more times through this. Take a moment to grab water if you need it, or I will meet you in mountain pose. Great time to do a body scan, return to our focus. If you had another intention you had in mind for this class, maybe you're returning to that. Or just thinking about those chest openers, those heart openers. Alrighty. Building on from mountain pose, inhaling Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, walking or hopping those feet back to plank. And taking your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Switching our order, so this time we'll lift the right leg high to start, centering those hips. On your next inhale, bringing that knee through, lifting warrior one. Inhale here. Exhale, open warrior two. Inhale, linking those hands behind. Exhale, humble warrior. From here, we are going to build on. We are going to inhale, reverse warrior. So from here, we're going to use that core to inhale, lifting our bodies up, taking a tilt back. So right arm that's in front of us is up towards the sky. Left arm's either back on our thigh or shin or, calf, or it's behind us, bound behind us. Thinking about that bend in our front knee. Are we loosening up? If so, keeping that generous bend here. One more inhale. If you have your prop near you, this is a good time to have it. We are going to exhale, extended side angle. So from warrior, reverse warrior, we exhale, lowering our upper body once more. This, again, if you have your prop, resting your hand on that prop on the inside of our right knee, this left arm is going to reach up and over. So props are super helpful to get us into the pose the correct way. We have that bend in our front knee. If you don't need your prop, you can place your hand down on the ground, finding your extended side angle that way. So this is a super active stretch, a nice little twist. I'm actively thinking about rotating my hips, and then I'm twisting my upper body in the opposite direction with those palms separated, or arm can reach over. Inhaling here, we're going to exhale, turning to that lunge, frame the foot. We step that foot back, high plank, take your vinyasa. Always an option to go right to down dog or to take a moment in child's pose. From here, let's lift that left leg high. Inhale. We bring that leg through, step it between the hands, lifting warrior one. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior two. Remember, heel toe that foot over. Check that foot alignment. On your next inhale, start to link those fingers behind you. Open that chest. Exhale, lower, humble warrior. On your next inhale, we are going to lift reverse warrior. Use that core, those sturdy legs, use them to lift. Humble or reverse warrior, we're tilted back. Left arm is above us. Right arm is down by that thigh or bound behind. Taking an inhale here. As we exhale, extended side angle. So one option we didn't mention on the other side for extended side angle, we can have that front arm, so here it's our left arm, on our thigh, forearm to thigh, an option to bring that over. Especially if you don't have a great prop to use, that is a great option. Finding ourselves in this very active stretch. Our bodies are probably warmed up now. We're working. Inhale here. Starting to remove that prop. Exhale, frame the foot to that lunge. Step the front leg back, high plank. Taking that vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. On that next inhale, looking between the hands, stepping or hopping the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. and exhale, standing to mountain. Wonderful job. We have one more time through this, one more thing to add. So, meeting in mountain pose. Taking one deep breath, inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, sitting back in those heels. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, placing those hands down, walking or hopping the feet out, taking your vinyasa here. Also have that option to always drop to the knees for plank. Meeting in downward facing dog. Last time through, we lift the left leg high, bringing it through, stepping those feet between the hands, lifting warrior one. Inhale here, exhale warrior two. Inhale, we link the fingers behind, preparing to fold humble warrior. This time we inhale, lifting through that core and legs, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Taking a breath here. Inhale, lengthen. As we exhale, we're going to frame this foot. If you are familiar with reverse extended side angle or revolved extended side angle, you can move your body there. I am going to walk us through a little bit more of an accessible option. So we're in this high lunge. We're going to lower that back knee down. Nice low lunge. We're going to find a twist here. So our right hand is going to be right here helping us. We're going to twist our bodies so hips are forward. I don't have my hips back. The weight is shifted forward. I'm going to twist and lift that arm high. So check that knee out really quick. Knee should be over ankle, not crossing over our toe. Holding that twist here. This is our peak twist. And if you are in reverse extended side angle, that knee is lifted and you are something like this. Inhale here. Exhale, twisting back, framing that foot. Step the foot back to high or low plank. Take your vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog once more. This time, let's lift the right leg high. On that inhale, swooping that leg through, framing the foot between the hands, lifting warrior one. Inhale here. Exhale, open warrior two. Inhale, linking those fingers behind, opening the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, using that core to lift up, reverse warrior. Keeping that bend in the front knee. On that next exhale, extended side angle. Forearm can come to thigh or using a prop. Inhaling here, exhaling, twisting that torso to frame the foot. Again, if you're going into revolved extended side angle, you can do so now. If not, we're lowering that knee. Left hand is staying grounded on our mat. Right arm, we inhale, twist. Trying to press that weight forward without letting that knee go too far over that ankle. Big twist here. Remember, every inhale we lengthen the spine, every exhale we find a deeper twist. Inhale one more time here. Exhale, frame that foot. One more vinyasa. So lifting that knee, stepping the front foot back to high plank. Take your vinyasa. Downward facing dog here. From here, bending the knees, walking or hopping the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, reverse swan dive up, and exhale, mountain. Wonderful job. That was some challenging poses, definitely our heaviest workload of this class if you've been attending weekly, so well done. However you followed along, amazing. We're gonna move into our balance pose. So typically we would layer the balance pose in to our flow, but it's gonna be separate today, and we're gonna do dancer's pose. Dancer's pose is a good pose for continuing to open our chest, so that is why we chose it. So how we're gonna get into it. Balancing. We're first going to choose to balance on one foot. It's going to be my right foot for you. So grounding our foot in. We can separate those toes, ground them into our mat or our ground, wherever you are, and start to just kind of take some weight off that balancing foot. So for your left foot, if you're watching and mirroring me, you can maybe draw some circles on the ground, just feel what that feels like to balance. When you're ready, what we're going to do for dancer's pose is you're going to take right or left foot into left hand. So I'm holding the outside of my foot, finding this balance here, and you have some options. If this here is a challenge for you, I encourage you to keep this pose. So right here, if we want to take this a step further, you have the option to start extending. So I'm pressing the top of my foot into my hand to find that balance. My other arm is out in front of me and going as far forward as you feel comfortable while extending that foot out. Key here with dancer's pose, it's super easy to open that hip up. So if I open it up, you'll notice my hips are no longer level. Our goal, which I won't do perfectly either, is to keep our hips as level as they possibly can be. That's going to require a lot of muscle groups to be open, so work the best you can. We'll spend about 20 to 30 seconds here just working on our dancer's pose on one side, finding that balance. Again, opening up as far as you like or keeping it close. Like I mentioned, this is a good chest opener. So if your left hand and foot are touching, your left side of your chest is really working to open up. Couple more breaths in this pose. If you fall out, that's okay. Try again. When you're ready, slowly finding yourself back to start. Let's do the other side now. So grounding that other foot, probably your left foot if you're following along with me, right hand to right foot, and from here, remember, choosing your options. So either standing right here, maybe holding on to something even, or working to extend, keeping those hips as level as you possibly can. We're going to spend about 40 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds working on our dancer's pose. This time we're going to feel that right chest open up. This is also a good one for our quads and our hip flexors. So if you're feeling something there, that's a good sign that you're doing it right. Take about 10 more seconds. Breathe here. When you're ready, slowly bringing yourself back to start. It's always a bonus when we can gracefully bring ourselves back and we're not just falling out of it. Take a drink of water if you have it. We're going to start to bring ourselves towards our cool down. So we've got about 15 minutes left together, a little more than that. We're going to start to deepen our stretches a little bit, bring that heart rate down, and we'll find ourselves in Shavasana, or final relaxation, towards the end of class. So what we are going to do is we're going to meet in mountain pose. Feet together, shoulders down and back. We're going to inhale, arms high. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. From here, bending the knees, we're going to find a downward facing dog. So stepping those feet back. And we have some options here. We're going to lift the right leg high, three-legged dog, and we're going to open that hip up right away. So feeling that hip open, maybe taking some circles on the ceiling or rotating that knee, whatever feels good. If you feel comfortable with this, we're going to find wild thing. If you know what this pose is, you can go right into it. If it's your first time trying, maybe watch first and decide if it's for you. This one is not for everyone. So this right leg that's in three-legged dog, we are gonna bring it over to the other side. So I'm in almost a bridged wheel pose, not quite, but my left leg is out straight, my right leg is bent supporting me, and this right arm right here is reached out in front. So if you want to take a second here, if you want to take more than a second, you can. Finding that big chest opener, and when you're ready, we're going to pivot back on that left foot. So gracefully, using our core, we're going to twist back, three-legged dog, and then slowly lower. So totally optional here. We can always just stay in three-legged dog. That's completely fine. Lifting the left high, opening that hip. First taking a couple circles or ankle rolls, and then choosing, if we'd like, to find wild thing. Hopefully by now our chest is open enough that we can comfortably find this pose, as comfortable as it can be. Taking maybe one more breath here, and when you're ready, pivoting back on that right foot gracefully, three-legged dog, and lower the foot. From here, tabletop, lowering those knees. Whew. All right, we're in tabletop pose now. Sitting back into child's pose right away. Little counter stretch. Sitting back on those heels. Resting our forehead to the mat or the ground. Nice deep breaths. Taking a moment to recover. We found child's pose at the beginning of our practice, so maybe thinking about how your body feels in comparison to that first child's pose. Hopefully we're a little warmer. It's a little easier to sit in this pose. When you're ready, we're going to slowly lift up, finding a seated pose. So sitting on the ground, we'll find a seated twist. Feet are going to be out in front of us, sitting up nice and tall. Let's first take the right leg. We're going to cross it over the left. Couple options here. So option to stay right here. If this is for you, I encourage you to keep it right here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our right arm, using it to support us. Left arm reaches up, elbow to knee, we find a twist. Now here's your second option. We can take our left leg that's extended out right now, bending it towards us. I believe this is called, it's Lord of the something, maybe Lord of the Fish, not sure. But foot's flat, our back foot is underneath us, and from there, same kind of twist. That left elbow comes to the outside of our right knee, finding that twist. I believe this is one of our last twists of the day. So again, thinking back to that first twist we did, that seated twist in our easy cross-legged pose, thinking about the difference now. Working on our twists can really help with our spinal health. Twists are supposed to aid in digestion. So remember to add them to your own personal practice. Inhale, lift that spine tall. Exhale, twist just a little bit deeper. Inhale here, and let's exhale, untwist. Very nice. We're going to find the same twist on the other side, so slowly just letting your legs fall out, maybe shaking them out a little bit, and then from here we're going to take the right leg. We just did that right leg. We're going to take the left leg, bring it over, and again, choose the same option you chose the first time. So if you did choose to bend that knee in, you can do the same, keeping the hips on the ground. We're going to take the left leg behind us, for our left arm behind us for support. Right arm lifts high. We bring elbow to the outside of that knee and find our twist. You might notice that twisting one way is easier than another. I know for me, twisting this way is more challenging. I can't twist as far. And that's normal. that's okay, but it might be helpful to add a little bit of extra time in that weaker side, or do that one more often to try to even yourself out a little bit. Taking a few more breaths here. Remember, inhale, lift that spine. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper, looking over that left shoulder. Inhaling one more time, and as you exhale, slowly untwisting. From here, we are going to find a supine position, so we're going to be laying on our backs. Before you just lay back down there real quick, we're going to be moving down slowly. So our last real part of engaging our abdominals, we'll say, because we will find bridge pose, we are going to slowly lower. So keeping those hands either on the back of our thighs or out in front of us, we're going to lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Head's the last thing to rest. From here, finding bridge pose. We're going to do bridge 4 times. You have the option to do both feet on the ground or lift one leg up. So 4 times will give you 2 times each leg. If you are choosing, like me, to keep both feet on the ground, we're going to bring our heels towards our glutes. Palms are face down on the mat or ground. And from here, on your inhale, you're going to lift those hips towards the sky. So I'm engaging my glutes, I'm engaging my lower back, I'm engaging my hamstrings. I'm not squeezing anything super tight, but I can feel them engage. Breathing in and out through the nose. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly lower. This is a good pose to also work us into wheel. I am not going to take us into wheel pose today for the safety and the fact that I can't see all of you. But if you are an experienced yogi and are familiar with wheel, you are welcome to take that whenever in exchange for bridge. Next one, we are going to go ahead and inhale, lift. If you are choosing that single leg option, this time you have the other leg in the air. One thing for my people who either single leg or double, we are thinking about keeping our knees in alignment with our hips. So if you're noticing your knees are splaying out or in, try to refocus and realign yourself. We're going to hold for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower. 2 more times. Let's take a breath. And on that next inhale, lift those hips up towards the sky. I'm also engaging my abdominals here. So really our whole core should be engaged. Again, not squeezing extremely tight. They're just having to do a little bit of work here. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower. We've got one more bridge to do today. On that next inhale, let's plant through those feet and lift. Steady inhales, steady exhales. 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down. Beautiful job. We're working our way towards our final relaxation. So last thing we will do is find a supine figure 4. So we're going to take one leg, cross it over the other thigh, foot stays flexed, and what we're going to do is we will grab the back of that thigh that the foot is crossed over. So right here, nice little figure 4 with the leg. I should feel a stretch through that leg that's crossed over, that outer hip. Should feel good, similar to if we were in pigeon pose. This is a good time as we work towards that final relaxation to, 1, maybe reflect on your practice today, take some time to feel proud of yourself, or just recenter your focus. If you were noticing your thoughts were drifting away from you, bringing your focus back towards that body and mind. One more breath here, inhale, and as we exhale, lower that leg down, uncross the legs. This time we'll find the other side, so bringing that opposite leg across, and whenever you're ready, keeping that foot flexed, we're going to lift the other leg, grab the underside of that thigh, and find our supine figure 4. Feeling the stretch in the opposite hip or leg now. If it's comfortable to close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly lower that foot back down to the ground, uncross. And here, I'm going to guide us right into our final relaxation, but if you would rather find some supine twists or maybe take happy baby before that, go ahead and find that, those asanas before finding yourself in final relaxation. But for time's sake, I want to give us some time here in that shavasana. So whenever you're ready, if you have that blanket near you, you're welcome to cover yourself in the blanket or maybe use it under your knees for some support. Whatever you have, you can use to make you feel the most comfortable you can possibly be. But we're going to be on our backs. Our palms are facing up towards the sky. Our feet are maybe splayed open, externally rotating if that's a comfortable place for your body. And using these last few moments to just breathe, try to clear our minds. It's okay if outside thoughts come into our mind as we're here, but not letting our mind focus on those thoughts for really long at all. Letting them more so just float by like clouds. You can take some time if you'd like to think about how your body feels and doing a body scan. Thinking about any of those tight muscles or maybe focusing on those facial muscles specifically. Are your eyebrows furrowed? Is your jaw clenched? Maybe bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Unfurrowing the eyebrows. Eyes are falling shut. And we're breathing. Starting to bring some awareness to our body. Bringing our mind back. If you need a few more minutes in Shavasana, you're welcome to take them. But I'm going to bring us to a close in our class. So wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes, maybe rolling the wrists and ankles if that feels good for you. Furthermore, let's take a good morning stretch. So reaching those arms overhead, pointing the toes in the opposite direction, a nice long stretch here through the body. And when you're ready, you can turn over to your favorite side. And we're going to slowly find our way up to a seated position where we're going to end class today. So I'll give you a few moments to find yourself there. Once you're in that seated position, sitting up nice and tall, eyes can still stay closed if that's comfortable for you. We're going to have our palms facing upwards this time. Thinking about that posture here. So again, quick body scan. Maybe when you walked into class today, your back was rounded, your torso was tight. So thinking about now how that feels. Hopefully we feel a little bit more open. I hope that with every class you leave here feeling better than when you walked in. That is really my goal with these classes. Any class that I teach is to help you all leave better than when you came in today. So with that, we are going to end class with one deep breath, inhaling our arms up nice and high, bringing our palms together, and then bringing our hands down to heart center. I will end class by letting you know that the light in me honors and respects the light in each and every one of you. Let's bow our heads to seal our practice. Namaste. So thank you for being in class today. Again, this was Vinyāsa Yoga. My name is Jackie. A few things. We're on an adjusted group fitness schedule right now, so if you're watching this live, take a look at our website because our classes are a little different. They're much more limited. I will be teaching this class one more time next week, so make sure that you attend if you like this class. If not, it'll be on the previous live streams playlist afterwards. But last thing, if you haven't already done so, please fill out the survey in the description of this class. Lets us know what you liked, what you didn't like. If we continue to experience some technical difficulties, I apologize for that. Hopefully you were able to go through the rest of class successfully, but if not, no worries. Our previous live streams playlist has lots of other classes for you to follow along with. That being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you next week.